pour out of the house.
They'll bombard them with letters, with phone calls, with flowers. They'll try and get them alone. They'll do everything possible. And in a sense, they can behave like jealous lovers. And there's nothing more dangerous than a jealous lover.
After a 3-year terror campaign, Ruth Marie Torres was jailed. California would shortly introduce new anti-stalking laws, but for Adam, it was too late.
If you weren't depressed before you get a stalker, you will be when they're through. Because it drove me bonkers. It drove me nuts.
In August 1994, Adam was admitted to the Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Hollywood, suffering from major depression and suicidal tendencies.
I was in a relationship with a very lovely actress, Heather, and I mean, she didn't know what had hit her, you know, I mean, and literally, you know, would come to this Cedars-Sinai Hospital every day and, you know, hold my hand. I couldn't speak some of the time, you know, I couldn't speak. It's like depression, mental illness, depression certainly is like having a fist smashed right in your skull and someone implanting a Hieronymus Bosch style, your worst memories, your worst feelings, your worst terrors in your brain, and then pulling the skull out, but no one, you know, is there. And your point, you don't want to sort of eat, drink, make love, talk, and someone sticks with you, and it's very, very, very difficult.
After 6 weeks, Adam was discharged, but his relationship with Heather Graham ended shortly afterwards. He returned to England, but he would bring the demons with him.
Did I tell you how much I miss?
By the mid-90s, Adam was living back in England. He married again, and though it didn't last, he had a daughter, Lily, who he doted on. But friends noticed a difference in his personality.
He was home from America, and he invited my son and me to dinner at the Ivy. And we had a wonderful meal, but he did seem unsettled and tense, and I didn't know why. I knew he had been ill, but all I could think was afterwards, I wonder what's the matter.
We used to go for these famous walks in St James, which would end up at Fortnum Mason's for afternoon tea. Normally we'd have a kind of a fantastic conversation, went to see each other, and we'd sort of look at the kind of various shops and saying, this is where the dandies used to live. This time there was a lot of looking into space. I felt helpless. It just, I'm trying to think of the word, a lost soul.
Did I tell you I was...
When Adam was again treated for depression, the paper said he couldn't cope without fame. But incredibly, it seemed he was still paying the price for it.
I started getting these very strange letters. Then I was just trying to get my daughter to sleep. Ring, 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 ring. Open the door, and there she is, and she just stepped into the doorway and wouldn't go away, just would not go away. She thought I'd planted a chip in her brain, and I was sending messages to her through the radio to come and see me and be with me.
Adam had to go to court to get rid of this new stalker. By then, he had the chance to appeal to all his old fans by topping the bill on an 80s nostalgia tour. He'd turned down similar proposals in the past. This time, he said yes.
It must be awful when you've had ideas in the first place that were slightly kind of uncompromising and about integrity and about being at the cutting edge of something, to realise that your future can only be in exploiting your back catalogue, and that you're going to have to dress up in that silly costume with that silly makeup in a way that was okay when you're in your mid-20s but isn't so okay when you're in your mid-40s, but you kind of know that people will take the piss out of you.
Now, Adam, we have a chandelier behind you.
No, just stick it up your jacket. I'm not doing it. Stick it up your bum.
How tempting.
Yeah.
Adam never made it on tour, although there would be a kind of comeback, one that neither he nor his old friend Marco would have wanted.
When he had his depression, I found out what depression was, because his doctors told me. And I said, okay, I understand that. What they failed to say is there's another bit to it. There's the manic bit.
Adam had kept the manic bit under control in his pop heyday, but now, 20 years on, he was caught in a deadly upward spiral. He was ascending into full-blown mania.
Once you swing up into the state of mania, life becomes incredibly chaotic. There isn't the same focus, and once things become chaotic and behaviour becomes chaotic, more bizarre, more reckless, more dangerous, and the person becomes a danger to themselves or other people, that's when things become critical and hospitalisation is needed.
So we called his doctor and we said, look, we know we're not family members. We're not asking you for privileged information. We're just telling you what's happening. And the guy said, well, what do you think should be done? And I said, well, how do I know? You know, we're asking me for. I'm a guitar player. You're a psychiatrist, you know. Do I come and ask you about fucking guitar playing?
On a cold Saturday morning in January 2002, Adam's friends gathered in North London to try to convince him to get help.
He was still manic, but he was very happy, you know. He brought us presents, and it was great to see you, and how are you, and blah, 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 and all this. And then he said, right, I must go now. And we didn't get a chance to say, no, hang on, Adam, we have to talk to you. No, I've got to go, I've got to go. I'll see you later.